This is very common when it comes to manifesting our reality. And I see this not just in my comments, but I've seen it everywhere else as well. That I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I've been manifesting or trying to manifest and nothing has happened yet. I don't believe this works. Manifesting is not real, it is all just a fad. Every time I really want something in my life, it doesn't happen. Look, I know how it feels to be in that situation. My old self used to be so frustrated with reality because when I wanted something bad, it didn't happen in my reality. But I can tell you that is not the case anymore because the path that I have decided on today that has came into reality and has manifested in an unexpected way. But I can tell you one thing is that I knew it was going to happen. Every single thing that I wanted in my reality to happen in my finances, to happen in my life, happened because I knew that it was going to. And I'll explain how I did that. But before I get into that, I'd like to say welcome. This channel is all about manifesting your reality and the law of assumption. I talk about the science as well as the conscious mind and the subconscious mind and connect those to the law of assumption. So I can tell you that it is not just make-believe because there is quantum physics that prove that this reality exists only with you and in your mind. But if that is something that you're interested, please check out my community. I also offer one-on-one coaching. And if you want group coaching, you can also check out that community as well. So let's get back into it. In this video, I'm going to go over what it's like to not be attached and what it is to be attached to your manifestation. What are the key differences between the two and what you can do to allow your manifestations to come into your reality. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you 5 practical tips that you can use to stay detached from your manifestation. So how did this happen for me? I like to share with you one story that has happened to me. Now, I wasn't expecting anything because when I first came to Colorado, I was a software engineer, but something fell through with that because I just wasn't really interested in it anymore, even though I manifested it without a college degree. I fell back into jewelry and making high vibrational pendants. You can also check that out if you like. But then I fell into crystals, and somehow when I was out and about and working at a show, this lady came. She was like 50 years old, and she was talking about how she manifested her own retail store. And she was in the local newspaper, and she had it with her, and I saw it. And she didn't have the money to get the store. She was just an employee, but she happened to believe that she was there at the right time, at the right moment, and she was able to take that business. The fact that she said that, I wanted one myself. And I was just doing big rock shows across the US. And I was like, you know what? That's funny that she said that because that's what I wanted. And lo and behold, it did happen. I was approached by someone that I've always kept seeing over the course of the 2 years. He wanted to get rid of his store. He didn't want to lose it. So we made a deal where I would take over the store and he would open a new one. So I didn't have to figure out my finances. All I had to do was come up with product to put in the store and pay the rent. So when we hear things in our reality, these are confirmations and signs that you are on the right path. But we have to persist in our beliefs in our own mind. And I'm going to go over what it's like to be attached and what it's like to be detached from your reality. So when you start seeing these things come into your life, you know that all you have to do is persist in the end. So what is it being attached? This is very common when it comes to manifesting, that we tend to have desperate energy. We become very needy. It's being attached to our current physical reality. And we're trying to manifest something because we want something in order for us to make us happy. We were conditioned and programmed to need something outside of us in order for us to be happy. So if we were to want a specific person, If we do not love ourselves and appreciate us in a way where we don't need somebody, but if they were to join us together, that it only would unify and make things better, then yes, then you will manifest your specific person. But if you're doing it out of a lax state where I need this person in order to be happy, then that relationship, when it does happen, doesn't last because we are needing something outside of us in order for us to be happy. The thing is, we have to learn to appreciate our own life. And when someone becomes a part of it, it makes things better because we are not needing one another, but we are happy to be together. So when we learn to not be so attached to our physical reality, this is when things will happen. And what is stopping us? One is our ego, it is our conscious mind. We tend to want proof and validation that something needs to happen. And every time we want something or manifest something, we need proof in order for it to work. We tend to judge others around us, saying, why do they have the things that I want? I can never get that. A lot of limiting beliefs like, oh, rich people are always blah, blah, blah. And they tend to say negative things. Or why do they always have a better house than me that I cannot have? Or why are they driving this that I can't get? Or why are they making so much that I can never get? We need to stop putting our own ego in our mind. We cannot judge others around us because we are reflecting that back out with our own beliefs and our own ego mind. We have to allow things to come through. When we are living in the end in an ego-based mind, we are literally sabotaging our whole reality because what we think about in our own mind and what we dwell upon and what we persist in, whether that is positive or negative, will impress onto our subconscious mind. And when the subconscious hears that, it gives you what you want, whether good, bad, true, false, it doesn't matter. It only gives what it is persisted in. And that is expressed back out into your reality. So whether something happens, it's whatever you believe to be true. And that is the law of assumption. What you assume is, and that will show in your reality. If you think things are hard, then things will be hard. If you think things will be easy, then everything will be easy. But we have to start being aware of those. And I'm going to give you practical tips on how you can properly manifest in your reality. But just take whatever resonates, because this is the stuff, whatever I explain to you, this is what's working for me. When everyone keeps asking, and I get it multiple times, well, what have you done? Or I would like to know more of this, or can you tell me more insights, or can you tell me more whatever. Everything I explain is what I live by and what I do. There's nothing else I can explain, but what I'm telling you is the things that I live by. It becomes natural. It becomes second nature that when you persist in everything that I say, it's just normal. It's just a simple way of being. So I'll just share with you a story about mine, because I'm also into art, music, making jewelry, and a lot of things that the common person would have a lot of limiting beliefs to. And I tend to get this every time I do vending on the weekend, or I'm doing festivals, music events, and I get the same thing from other artists. I'm happy that they're out there trying to promote their product. But there's a difference, because there are a lot of people that are around me and I have a lot of amazing, nice friends. But when it comes to money and passion, or money and art, they've always say the same things, that I don't care about the money. I just want to do the arts. Yet they're struggling in their life because they are reaffirming this in their mind, that they don't care about the money, or they don't need to have it in order to live. The problem with that, of course, we want to do our art. without having to have a monetary value to it. And a lot of people believe this, and it's just kind of silly because I believe if you're doing the thing that you love, why shouldn't you be taken care of in reality and have full abundance in all areas of your life? Why do I need to be a starving artist? Why do I need to be broke? If you're getting value out of this and you don't want me to disappear into the ether, make sure to hit that subscribe button and do hit the like button because that helps get it out to other people that really need this in their life. Those are so common in the art world, and it's ridiculous. It's only the ones that I see now that have a different state of mind, that believe that they should have full abundance in all areas of their life. But we have to change these beliefs within ourselves because anything is possible. Because when I was vending, everybody would always wonder, what am I doing different that everyone else is? Whether I'm the best artist or not, and I'm not stating that I am, is that I believe that people will buy the things that I have because I assume it and I know for a fact. But if I tell you the way I believe life works and reality works, you might think that my head is in the clouds. You might think that what I'm telling you is crazy. It's woo woo. Because I know for a fact that when I step outside of my reality, things come to me, things come naturally and freely. So, how do I live by this? Is being not attached. And what does that mean? It's becoming one with your reality, becoming one with your desires. When we are living in the end, or when we are living in the wish fulfilled, which Neville teaches, is that we have to be one with that desire. There is no future and there is no past. If we're living in the memories of our past, we are always remanifesting those back into our reality because our conscious and subconscious don't know the difference between past and future. It only knows about this present moment. So when we are persisting in a thought, we are reaffirming that into our existence, into our reality, and then it shows up into our reality. So we do not want to live in the future that one day this is going to happen. One day I'll have that. One day it's going to come to me. I hope eventually it will happen. I hope so. I hear that too. No, we don't hope for things. We make hope. It's funny because when I did have a job many years ago, I would say that, don't just say hope, we make the hope. And, people would tend to laugh about that. But I've always had that way of thinking because I didn't have a choice. I was thrown on the streets at a very young age because my dad was an alcoholic and my mom unfortunately passed away. But out of that, I had a baby sister that came out of that. And I'm so grateful for that. But during that time period, I had to figure out reality quickly. There was no one I can fall upon. Lucky or not lucky, I don't know, because it forced me to find the path and find the truth and eventually find Neville. So another thing is that we need to learn to not wonder when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen. So when, where, when, what, how, why. Any questions related to our manifestation is not living in the end. Any questions that we have causes doubt, and that will pull us back into the old reality, back into the old self. We are not living in the end, or we're thinking in a future time or a past time. We need to stop asking these questions because that is not what it is being in the wish fulfilled, and allow reality to unfold the way it's supposed to. So practical tips is controlling those thoughts. We have to stop asking these questions to ourselves because if we ask these questions, we are immediately pulled out of that state of the end. And instead of saying, I manifest easy stuff, but the big stuff is hard. No, that's also easy as well. We have to start shifting those thoughts that are coming into our mind and persist and change the ones that are going into our mind and flipping the switch and changing it to the opposite. If something's hard, it's easy. If something's impossible, it's possible. We have to allow ourselves to get out of the way in order for us to finally get the things that we want. Another tip is that we need to ignore the facts of reality. Now, I'm not saying that we still have to live through our days and take and do the necessary things in our reality, but ignoring the facts is by seeing the opposite of the manifestation that we want and ignoring the senses of reality. Reality is all existing only in your mind, and it is our state of being. It is all internalized in our own mind. There are no circumstances, there are no roadblocks. It's all about being faithful in the end and let reality flow to us and let it come the way it's supposed to come naturally. Because when we are living in the end, everything is supposed to be natural and it is already done. It is already mine. So we are just living in our thoughts, in our mind. It's our state, right? So whether we see it or not, it's our mental diet. And eventually what happens is that if we consistently and persist in that state, then we are just waiting for the present moment to catch up. And since we are living in that present moment, knowing that it's coming, we never question how, we never think of the doubts, we don't ask anything about it. We live as if, we walk as if. It was like Neville, he walked down the streets of New York and knew that he was walking in Barbados, right? We have to live in first perspective and live in our imagination and persist in the thoughts that get us to the reality we want. So that is the state of being. We are not allowing the senses of reality to affect us because that is what pulls us back into the old self, the old reality. It wants to keep you in a reality that's safe. It doesn't want to try to put out all this energy and work for you. So we deny the senses and we live inside as if it was fact, that it's here now. So as every day that I go about my day, I live in my imagination. I live in my thoughts. I impress my subconscious mind over and over and over again with the thing that I want. Now, this might sound like work, but when you consistently do this every single day, it becomes a habit and it becomes natural and it doesn't become work because it's just your normal state of being. There are no circumstances or anything like that. There is only you and your state of consciousness. Whatever you put your attention and focus to is what comes into your reality. So keep your focus, your attention and awareness on the thing that you want and never waver from it. Not even questioning if I'm wavering or not, or am I staying in the wish fulfilled, or how do I do it? You're already manifesting whether you know it or not. But now that you're a conscious being, and now that you know the law of assumption, you know that you can do this. And the most important part is faith. We have to have faith that what it is that we want is going to come to us. There is always movement in our reality, whether we see it or not. Something is shifting in your reality. You are already shifted. So you're like, have I shifted or am I in this reality? You already are. The thing is, you have to have faith and belief that you are in this new reality, this new being. If you're like, oh, I need to work on my self-concept and I have to work on it for 28 days, then it's going to take you 28 days. If I believe that I shift into this new reality, I go take my nap, I live in the end and believe that I shifted, that's all it takes is faith and belief. Belief in your own mind, belief in your own reality, belief that everything's going to come to you. Have faith that whatever it is that you want is going to come to you. We don't question anything about it, how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen. I walk and live as if everything that I want is going to come to me in a good way. And when we get out of our own way, of our own conscious ego mind, and allow it to impress into our subconscious and persist in the things that we want, it can only manifest. The feeling is living as if it was fact, true, that it is here now. It's in first perspective. Imagine thinking from the manifestation and not thinking of the manifestation. We live from it. Become one with it. Become one with the desire. It is already here. We don't think with the five senses. So stop saying, oh, I'm thinking it's here, but I don't see it. It is not what we see in our external world. It's in our internalize it within our own being. And then it has to reflect out. Everything is a mirror. Until then, if you're looking for more on manifestation, check out this video here to level up your reality.